So with that, guys, I want to talk about the current state of StarCraft. So where we are at this point in time as a community at large and what it kind of means for us moving forward here. So I believe, guys, that the current state of StarCraft as a whole is at its highest moment pretty much in its history, in my personal opinion. And the reason is because when I talk about these things, guys, a lot of it, sure, we can talk about StarCraft 1, but I'm mostly talking about StarCraft 2 here and the current state of where we are with StarCraft 2, since it's, of course, the newest game or, you know, the latest entry in the franchise. So when I look at the totality of StarCraft at this point in time in StarCraft 2, I think that we're at the highest point and at the peak of, you know, this community and such in a major way because of, you know, going free to play was a huge thing for StarCraft 2, but also I also look at, from an esports perspective, the viewership that's coming in from StarCraft, the number of content creators, the number of streamers that are also coming to the scene, new and old coming into the scene that are continuing to bring content to StarCraft 2, I think is a huge deal. So I think as a community, we're at a great place. I think Blizzard's done a really good job of kind of continuing to bring out content for StarCraft 2, whether you're talking about just new map pools, whether you're talking about, you know, of course, the co-op commanders and things of that nature to try to kind of continue the legacy and lore that is StarCraft 2. But I think just as a whole, when we look at the totality of where we stand right here, right now, I gotta say, guys, we're at our peak. I guess you could technically say that we have more peaks to accomplish and to achieve at this point, because I feel that in the entire totality, and as I alluded to, of course, we're celebrating 10 years of StarCraft 2. In this 10-year stretch, there's certainly been peaks and valleys, guys, especially when the game first came out. There were great things, and then as the game kind of evolved, it started having some valleys, and then we're kind of back up on those peaks. And I think a lot of that has to do with the free-to-play, has to do with just time. You know, like at the end of the day, it really comes down to just time that the StarCraft 2, as it's, you know, throughout its history, has just had time to kind of regain a lot of the things that might have set it back in years past. And so I am incredibly excited about the future of StarCraft. I think that I'm so bullish on long term for StarCraft and in this franchise as a whole, whether that's StarCraft 2 or, you know, some other, you know, way, you know, moving forward in the future. I just think that we're at a great point in time for the community, and I think it's going to be I'm incredibly excited to see what ends up happening in the next upcoming years here, guys, as Blizzard hopefully continues to, you know, do a really good job creating, you know, further map pools and continuing to balance and have changes when things are needed, which I do think there's always going to be a need for balancing and things of that nature. But as long as they are supporting it, guys, there's going to be the creators, there's going to be the content creators, the streamers, there's going to be the pro players that are there that are consistently playing the game. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And with DreamHack, guys, taking over the esports side of things, or I should say the ESL, taking over from the esports perspective, where we no longer, you know, have Blizzard kind of running everything, and the WCS, I think that they've done an incredible job. And I think that is something that is also to really, we've got to tip our caps to, you know, ESL and DreamHack and such for doing an incredible job of really kind of giving our game, that being StarCraft 2, like more of an audience. And I think it's continuing, guys. We're moving in a great direction. I'm excited to see where we end up going from here. But that's going to lead me into my next topic. But I want to, before I move on, I want to ask all of you, you know, what do you guys think about the current state of StarCraft? Where do you think we stand at this point? Are you very optimistic about the future? Are you concerned at this point in time? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's have a real conversation about it.